Tonight at Wrigley Field, John Burkett and the Chicago Cubs host Pete Harnisch and the Houston Astros to start off the second half of the 1991 season. Stick around to see which of these two struggling teams emerge with a victory and which are left with a defeat. Hello again, everybody. Mim here, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to episode 20 of my Let's Play Out of the Park 21 series featuring the 1991 non-historic Chicago Cubs. This episode covers our Game 83 matchup against the Houston Astros. Like us, the Astros have struggled mightily this season, mostly because they've lacked good starting pitching. However, with Pete Harnisch on the mound, who's a very good pitcher, as well as some awesome left-handed bats, they should prove a challenging opponent. Since this is our first game after the All-Star break, we're hoping to come out and get a big win at home to start off the second part of our season on the right foot. If you are interested in following this series and haven't already, feel free to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications when I upload new videos. Otherwise, thanks for checking out my video and enjoy the ball game. Now, let's take a look at the starting lineups. All right, so on this page here, you can see the Astros. They lead it off with Steve Finley in right field. Casey Candle is going to be playing shortstop. Jeff Bagwell at first. He's a major bat, major power threat. Luis Gonzalez, another big left-handed bat, along with Finley. Ken Caminiti is a tough out because he's a switch hitter and he's a decent bat. Ron Karkovice, a good possible double plays, so hopefully our pitchers will be able to induce him to hit into a lot of double plays. And then Jeff Milan is a fictional player playing at center field. We'll talk more about this in a second. And Antonio Garbiso, and I believe he's fictional as well. He is going to be playing at second. Pete Harnisch on the mound. And Harnisch, as you can see, he's had very good numbers so far this year. The Astros have a very poor record, but Harnisch is an excellent pitcher. So don't let sort of his 500 record or the Astros' poor record fool you. When you face the Astros with Pete Harnisch on the mound, they're a tough team because he's actually a really solid pitcher, as you can see by his his major pitching stats here. So just bear that in mind that they have a similar record to us, but this team they're going to come out with us today is pretty good. So it's going to be a tough matchup for us for sure. We lead it off with Mark Grace, as always, against right-handers and playing first. Sandberg at second. Kevin Bass will be in our third spot today at left field. Chito Martinez, our very hot-hitting call-up prospect, right fielder. Salazar, he's going to be traded here pretty soon, but we'll keep him around just for the time being. Reynolds is going to be in the number 6 spot. He's had a hot bat as late. Hopefully he can keep crushing the ball. Tony Aguirre and Rick Wilkins in the number 8, and then Burkett, of course, the pitcher in the number 9 spot. Burkett, as you can see, he's pitched better in his last 3 or 4 starts. He's actually been fairly decent, but you can see his numbers are just sort of average-ish, not great, not horrible. He's been okay, and considering like what we had, it's been a marked improvement, but he's certainly no Pete Harnisch, comparing him to what Houston's going to throw at us today. And one thing I wanted to bring up, sort of like I did in the previous game video where we faced the Dodgers, and I talked a little bit about Darryl Strawberry. I do, whenever I do a game video, I want to talk about maybe like one player, normally on the opponent's teams, because typically I'll talk some about the Cubs players that I still have on my team that are relevant just through the course of covering how they're doing over the season. But the player I wanted to talk about for Houston, he's actually not in the lineup today. And I was, when I loaded into this game and got ready to do this, was looking at it, I was like, oh man, because I had sort of, prepared a little bit to talk about this particular guy. And then I realized, why he's not in the lineup? What's going on? And if you look even in his in there, it's not like he's tired or anything. In the in their actual lineup, he's not there as well. So let me go into their organization page real quick. And you can see here he is playing at center field, Craig Biggio. He has an ulnar nerve entrapment. He's out for a month, roughly. I think this injury just happened. I'm not sure, but Craig Biggio is a very interesting player. Astros in this time period, they had some really good batters, really good hitters. They're a good hitting team. I think they really struggled and wanted for pitching, for starting pitching in particular. That was sort of their Achilles heel as a team. I would think. I want to say more towards the mid and late 90s, they actually became a really good team and were contenders, and they were very solid. But a big part of all of that was Craig Biggio, who's sort of considered one of the the most versatile players, one of the greatest, most versatile players in all of Astro history. But even in baseball, I mean, he was a great all-around player for sure. And if you give me just a moment here to switch over to this view in my browser, all these links will be in the description below, of course, as always. And here's Craig Biggio's wiki page, and I'm just kind of covering this to point out this link is below if you really want to read up on him and sort of read about all his achievements and his life and his early careers. A little bit of that stuff is in here, of course. Here are his baseball reference stat page, and a couple things to note for Craig Biggio. He played for 20 years, a very long career, especially considering, for most of his career, he was a second baseman, so a fairly physically demanding position. I think, towards the end, of course, he was more, I don't know, there were some limitations to probably what he was able to do compared to earlier. You can see, so getting ahead of myself a little bit here, but Craig Biggio, he started his career as a catcher. So kind of incredible in the sense that most of the time when catchers change positions, they typically go to first base, maybe third, or someplace out in the outfield, like left field or something. But typically catchers are not, the type of guys that can play every position, if you want to think of it that way. Craig Biggio, however, was the type of player he could probably play every defensive position on the field. He started as a catcher, then the Astros, they moved him to the outfield, to center field no less, to sort of highlight what a great athlete he really was, that to move a guy like that from catcher into center field shows you just his incredible versatility, what they saw in him, that he could, he was a great all-around player, so they were even to throw him out into that kind of a position, which is incredible in and of itself. But then ultimately, I want to say maybe after the first, because right now in this 91, he's still playing at center field. He would have been in the lineup in center field. Instead, the Astros have that fictional player because Biggio's injured, unfortunately. It would have been nice to see him in the series, but I still wanted to talk about him because he's a cool player. But ultimately, after a few more years, I want to say this is kind of the point, definitely when he was playing second full time. You can see he won multiple Silver Sluggers, Gold Gloves. He was in MVP contention multiple times, a multiple-time All-Star. Just an amazing player. I mean, the longevity of his career alone, when you look at all of his numbers, they're very impressive, like his on-base percentage, his OPS, all this kind of stuff. They're very impressive numbers, and when you consider how long his career was, and that he was still putting up really good numbers through most of his career. There were a few patchy moments here and there, but a wonderful player. And you can see definitely towards the mid 90s, mid to late 90s, he was a dominant player. He was a great player, and even now in 91, when we're facing him, he's still a good player. but he's not up to the caliber he was when he was kind of peaking in these years. But I wanted to bring him up in particular because not only was he a great fielder, amazing batter, a very versatile player, he was also a very scrappy player. Craig Biggio, he is the all-time leader of being hit by a pitch in the modern league, 1901 to present. This guy, Huey Jennings, hope I'm saying that right. He's higher up than Biggio, but in Jennings's time period, it was really common for batters to get hit by pitches, like way more common. So Biggio is like very exceptional that he almost even was the all-time leader for baseball, considering he was playing in a modern league. And you can see he surpassed Don Baylor as the modern league hit by pitch leader. And Biggio had 285 hit by pitches, which sort of, I mean, it correlates with he was always a very difficult out, really good on base percentage numbers normally, especially in these like sort of mid to late 90s. I mean, you know, he's 411, 406, 415. So definitely a guy that got on base. And I think I saw something in one of these things I was looking at where out of the 285 times he was hit by pitch, I think he scored a run like 98 of those times he made it on base or something like that. Maybe it was 89 or something, but still incredible that that act alone, getting hit by all those pitches, nearly produced 100 runs for his team, ultimately with his team's help, of course, advancing him and a hitter behind him, driving him in. And I thought I'd do this. This might get a copyright claim or whatever, but this is fair use because I'm going to point some things out in this video. This is for commentary. Of course, this link will be below as well. You can see the source is MLB. So this is no different than what like people like John Boy and all that kind of stuff do when they talk about clips. So if you give me just one moment here, and sorry that I forgot to do this, but I meant to kill that music. And you'll see this was when Biggio, he set the modern record. And a couple things I'll point out in this video. We'll just play the clip and then I'll kind of pull it back and point a couple things out that stand out to me. So here we go.
And Biggio now owns the record all to himself. A grimace and maybe a grin for a moment. 268
okay, so and let me take this back real quick. And a real interesting thing about Craig Biggio, and it kind of drove other teams crazy, and I can understand why. He was notorious for crowding the plate, and he, when he would get hit by pitches, he was amazingly good at getting whenever there was a pitch to the inside. He could get this elbow, which he would wear like an elbow guard, like a big, kind of like almost like just a huge shell over his elbow, and he would stick that out there, or he would move it just in the right way, like it mimicked the movement of trying to avoid being hit, because that's sort of part of baseball where like you can't just totally lean into pitches and expect umpires to always say, oh yeah, okay, take your base. Sometimes umps will like say, oh, that was a strike or whatever, and they'll call a strike on you. So Biggio was really good at sort of picking his spots, so when he would get hit and what pitches he would do this on. But he would sort of lean into them or flinch into them or sell it in a believable way and get popped on that elbow guard. And let me get it right. Oh, and I went a little bit too far. And you can see like it pops right off, and it still probably hurts like hell. And I bet you it's like you think when you hit your funny bone and your arm just ooh. And he at his older age now, he's in his mid 50s, I believe. I bet you he has some problems with arthritis and things with this elbow, just in possibly his shoulder and just the whole left side of his body, because getting hit that many times. This whole left side of his body probably took a lot of punishment. But that's just testament to what a cool player he was and what was so admirable about him as a player. And I will point out he purposely would keep his batting helmet dirty, and his uniform was normally filthy in games. Like if he didn't have dirt and stuff all over himself by the fifth or sixth inning of a game, he probably had been resting on the bench for that game as somebody else was playing. Like Biggio was the type of player you can see there is with his helmet, very scrappy, very people, all the opponents, he would frustrate them, of course, because he would get on base in cheap ways and is a good player, but other players in the league really respected him. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. I don't know if the sound caught it, because I have this the sound set up a little bit weird, and I don't know if when I was talking right there if the sound here killed it. But the announcer in this segment here, he even talks about the elbow pad. So definitely check this video out if you couldn't hear it, or if this part where I'm talking here is not making sense what I'm talking about, because I'm still kind of getting used to how to mix these sounds with all this different stuff going on. But yeah, Craig Biggio, a really cool player. There are a couple articles that I linked below. This is when he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2015. Houston Chronicle article just talking about him as a player and the record that he set. And another, this is a kind of a baseball blog, I believe. And similar thing, article roughly around the time he made it into the Hall of Fame, just discussing him and other players who were also sort of like top 5 hit by pitch leaders and what set them apart and what made them different from each other. Interesting. Baseball, definitely one of the cool things about it as a sport is just this notion, this mechanic of taking one for the team. Getting on base a painful way, but sometimes like that sort of self-sacrifice, it can mean the difference. And Craig Biggio surely was the kind of player for 20 years that put his body and himself on the line for his team. I know the Houston Astros get a heck of a lot of hate now, and I personally found it really disappointing and shitty that the whole trash can cheating stuff. I mean, that kind of sign stealing has been around in baseball forever, but just the blatant way, and just the little band-aids that were all that kind of crazy stuff. Just disappointing. But Biggio, was before all that. And as far as I know, I don't know if he was a doper, like if he was doing steroids and stuff, sort of, because towards the end of the 90s, when a lot of that was just getting started, possibly if he was coming back off of an injury or something, I would imagine the temptation for a much older player to do something like that would be great. So I seem to think maybe he was like when all that stuff broke, I think his name was kind of part of all that, and it tarnished his legacy a little bit. I could be wrong on that though, so maybe I shouldn't have even said anything. But regardless, it's sort of even if he was tarnished that way, and I'm not saying he really was, but it'd almost be the case with like Barry Bonds, where even before the juicing, just an amazing player. And I think maybe he didn't, but I don't know. So again, like I said, I kind of tuned out of baseball sort of by the mid 90s, and the Diamondbacks getting to the World Series sort of made me a lot more interested when they were contending for playoffs, of course, being a local team. But I didn't, the whole steroid scandal and all that kind of stuff with Bonds and Canseco and all those guys, Balco, and that stuff really turned me off baseball, among other things. But I still wanted to highlight, and sorry I went a little long on this, but I wanted to highlight Craig Biggio. Definitely an interesting player from this time period, from I'd say in particular the middle to the late 90s. really standout player. But even in the early 90s, there were already clear signs of greatness just by the sheer fact he was such a complete baseball player. Great hitter, great fielder, could play all over the field. Scrappy. He'll put himself on the line for the team to get on base any way possible. It just like when you think of a prototypical baseball player, he would be somebody that could fit that mold where like he personifies like all the aspects of being a good baseball player. Maybe he was never like the very, very best in any of those categories, but he was so good in all of them that he's certainly a standout player. So that was just my little spiel on Craig Biggio. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk and all that kind of stuff. And so now let me get back to my out of the park screen here. And we will get on with the game finally. I mean, gosh, here I've gone 20 minutes and haven't even gotten to the game. So this was that was a big detour, but it had to be done because I want these games. I'm not super exciting or whatever, like like an Aussie villain or whatever. So at least if I'm gonna have little videos where I present a game that we play, I can at least talk a little bit about some of these players from this time period, because I know a few people that watch some of my earlier videos and maybe they're not watching anymore, but maybe they still might pop in from time to time and catch one. They mentioned that they didn't know a whole lot about this time period, and it's not like I'm some expert or anything, but I certainly remember some of these players from when I was growing up and watching baseball. And I remember Craig Biggio for sure, and a lot of the Houston Astros players. So let's get us underway again. Just a reminder here: the lineups, nothing's changed. Looks like we've got clear skies, wind blowing in from center at 9 miles per hour. If I'm not mistaken, this is a night game, 7 p.m. So it's a beautiful game under the lights here at Wrigley Field. Hopefully my sound settings are okay, that my game sound isn't going to be like insanely loud, but maybe I can fix it if I mess things up. You can see our defense here with Aguirre in center field, Martinez in right, Bass in left, Salazar at third, Reynolds at short, Sandberg at second, Grace at first, Wilkins behind the plate, and John Burkett on the mound. We will lead this off against Steve Finley, a very good left-handed batter. John Burkett, maybe not our best pitcher, but maybe he'll come out and have a good game, and we might be able to get to the Houston ace. So here's a 1-0 pitch, fly ball into left field. Looks like Bass will have it, and he does. So Burkett retires the first hitter he faces, and Casey Candle up to bat. First pitch swing, a little ground ball on by the home plate, and Wilkins does throw him out over to the first base side. So 2 up, 2 down for Burkett. Burkett facing Jeff Bagwell, a very dangerous right-handed batter, a lot of power. Full count. Here's the pitch. And Burkett retires him, strikes him out. So nice first inning by Burkett. 3 up, 3 down. Mark Grace leading it off against Pete Harnisch. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And a fly ball into center field, but it will be caught by a diving Mulan, a fictional player. A good fielder out there. So the AI benefiting from one of the fictional players that were probably in its minor league system when Biggio went out injured. Here's Ryan Sandberg, 1 out, no on, 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Sandberg is down on strikes, so both pitchers starting off the game looking good. Here's Kevin Bass from the left-hand side. 2-2 pitch, and Bass is down swinging. So 2 strikeouts to start the game for Pete Harnisch. See, it's getting darker. The lights are on. John Burkett against Luis Gonzalez, a good left-handed bat, especially against right-handers. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and Gonzalez takes a seat. So both starting pitchers today with a couple strikeouts, hitless so far in this game. Both the offenses. Ken Caminiti, good switch hitter. Here's the pitch, a ground ball over to shortstop, and that will be a quick out to first. So Burkett looking like he might retire the side again in order. Yep, and he does. So 3-1 pitch grounded to first, and Burkett has retired all 6 men he has faced so far. Here is Cheeto Martinez, our red hot right fielder. He's cooled off a little bit recently, but in the grand scheme of things, this guy is like on fire big time. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and he goes down swinging. So Pete Harnisch is not messing around today, so we're gonna have our work cut out for us. Here is Luis Salazar stepping in. First pitch swing, ripped over to the third base side, but it will be fielded, and the out is at first. Salazar is retired. Here is Reynolds batting 6th. 1-2 pitch, and Reynolds goes down swinging. So Pete Harnisch making us look really bad. John Burkett, full count. Here is the pitch, and a little pop-up over into shallow right field. Sandberg back, and he makes the play. All right, Antonio Garbiso up to bat. John Burkett with the first pitch swing. Ripped over to first base. Grace will take it unassisted, and 2 away. And now Burkett versus the pitcher, Pete Harnisch. Here's a 2-2 pitch. And Harnisch is down swinging. So Harnisch has struck out several of our batters, but Burkett gets a little bit of revenge. Tony Aguirre up to bat against Pete Harnisch. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And a ball on the ground to the second base side, over to first, and Reynolds is retired. Rick Wilkins has really struggled so far since he's been called up. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Maybe this is the game where he breaks out of it. Come on, Wilkins. Oh, and that ball is ripped deep into the left field gap. Wilkins is going to make it to second with a 1-out double. A wonderful job there. Nice to see Rick Wilkins get some offense going here. He's certainly struggled so far. Burkett probably going to be bunting, I imagine. Here is the oh, he's swinging away. He does not advance the runner. I mean, I know moving the runner doesn't do much in reality, but your pitchers are normally, they're not going to get a hit anyways either. So Mark Grace, RBI opportunity, a slow base runner on second. So hopefully Grace can get an extra base hit here. Make sure to drive Wilkinson. Here's the full count. And Grace draws a 2-out walk. Now runners on first and second. And a big at bat for Ryan Sandberg, our best hitter. Come on, Sandberg. Come on, Rhino. Here is the 2-0 pitch. This could be huge. And Sandberg with a base hit into right field. Will this score the run? Wilkins is going to go for it, and it looks like he is in there safely. Sandberg with a big RBI single, 2 outs. Give Grace some credit there, too, for extending the inning with that full count walk. Here's Kevin Bass from the left-hand side, runners on first and second. Maybe Bass can get something going here. Here's a 1-0 pitch. And Kevin Bass hits the ball hard into a deep center field, but it will most likely be caught. Yes, it will at the warning track. But the Cubs do draw first blood. They now have 2 hits, 1 run. And Harnisch looked a little more vulnerable there than he did in the previous innings, where he was striking us out left and right. So Steve Finley up to bat again to lead it off. Burkett, second time through the lineup. Here's the 3-0 pitch, probably going to be a walk, and it is. Unfortunate, he walks the leadoff man. So come on, Burkett, don't give up that run or worse. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and a ball hit hard into the gap, deep center field. This will possibly score a run. No, it will not. Runner holds at third, but 2 on, second and third, nobody out. It looks like we're going to be conceding at least a run this inning, but maybe we can get out of it. But these are some tough batters we're facing. Part of their lineup, Jeff Bagwell. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Oh, man. And it's ripped to third base, caught by Salazar. Very fortunate. So we have 1 out. Luis Gonzalez, a big left-handed bat. Let's see what we do here. 1-1 pitch, and on the ground to first base. A runner does not score, so the Astros might let us out of this this jam here. Caminiti, first pitch swing, and a ball ripped to second base. Sandberg is there over to first, and the Cubs, Burkett gets out of that tough spot there. The Astros come away with nothing despite having some runners in scoring position. Chito Martinez to lead it off, facing Pete Harnisch, who now has 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and has given up 1 run. Here is Martinez, a ball on the ground to second base, over to first, and Martinez is retired. Salazar up to bat. Here is the first pitch swing, and Salazar pops it up into right field. Should be playable, and it is. Looks like Finley's got it, and Reynolds, 2 out, full count. Here is the pitch from Harnisch, and it is a walk. So I believe Reynolds struck out his previous at bat, but this time he walks. Here's Tony Aguirre, 1-1 pitch, ball onto the ground. Pitcher's got it over to first, and the Cubs are retired. They do get 1 walk, but they strand the runner. Houston with Ron Karkovice, the bottom of their lineup coming up. Burkett, the 1-1 pitch delivers, and ball hit into center field. It will drop in for a single, so Karkovice is on with a leadoff hit. Here's Jeff Moulin, fictional player, a 1-0 pitch. Misses the bunt, 1-1, 2-2 pitch. Ground ball over to shortstop. That'll be the second and to first, and they double them up. Double play. A nice break for the Cubs there. Burkett with Reynolds to Sandberg to Grace, and Garbiso, 2 out, 0-2 pitch. Here's the delivery, and this ball is popped up into center field. Looks like Aguirre will grab it, and he does. And we are through the top of the 5th. Wilkins up to bat. Here's Rick Wilkins. He had a double his last time up to bat, and this ball is hit again a mile high into deep left field, but it should be caught on the track, and it is. Gonzalez makes that catch, but Wilkins getting some better swings on the ball here. It looks like that's nice to see. Here's a Burkett 3-0 pitch. Maybe Burkett's going to draw a walk. Look at that. Burkett with the masterful eye there. Mark Grace with a runner on first, a full count, and he draws a walk, I believe, his second of the game. Runners on first and second, both very slow. This could be a double play opportunity for the Astros, but Sandberg, a big bat. Let's see what he does. First pitch swing, and he crushes this ball deep into the outfield. I think this might be out of here. Oh, no, it's still in. The runner will advance to third from second. The thing that got me there was the this outfielder didn't move, and this one he did, but sometimes I've seen balls carry out like when that happens, and I think the fact that the wind is blowing in kept that ball in, unfortunately. But we do have runners on first and third, 2 outs, so at least 1 runner advanced. Here's Kevin Bass, 1-2 pitch. Come on, Bass. Down on strikes. Very unfortunate. Would have been nice to get another run there. Burkett facing Pete Harnisch. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Top of the 6th inning, and the ball is on the ground to Grace. Grace is going to flip it over to Burkett, and we are 1 away. Steve Finley, he's what is he? 0 for 1, or I think he walked. 2-1 pitch. Yeah, he walked and he singled, I believe. Ball ripped into right field, another single. So we've got Finley is on again, second time in the game. One out. Casey Candle up to bat. I expect Finley will be going here if he gets a favorable count. There's a ground ball to Grace, and they do retire that very fast lead runner, so that's a fortunate break for us. Jeff Bagwell, 2 out, 3-1 pitch, and Bagwell crushes this ball into left field. Another single, and Bass will hold the runner at second. So we got 2 on, 2 out. Luis Gonzalez, a very big left-handed bat. We have a 1-run lead. Burkett, I don't know why these widgets do this sometimes. They pop over there. That's 75 pitches. This is kind of like... this is like, You want to take him out. Given us 5 good innings, and now he's in trouble here, and could be him giving up the game. We got guys that can come in. I just don't know if I want to kind of save them until later spots in the game, because we call in a left. This is what's tough about facing the Astros too, and typically their lineup is going to be like this. If you bring in a left-handed pitcher, then you're going to be facing kind of a dangerous right-handed bat with the switch hitting in Caminiti. These bottom of the lineup bats don't matter as much, but burning left-handed, we can do it in this game. Man, I hate to. He only has 75 pitches. Well, and he's pitched all right. He's pitched well, except for this moment here. I'm gonna let him go for it. Probably regret it, but we're a bad team this year, anyways, and why not? 1-1 pitch. Oh, and it's a balk. Great. All right, so force outs are taken out of the equation. At least we had a base open now. Maybe we'll intentionally walk him to face Caminiti. Oh, and Gonzalez makes us pay. There's a single in the center field. 2 runs will score. Oh, no, 1 run will score. And then Aguirre with a big throw gets the out. So we do hold them to 1 run. Game is tied. Probably should have brought in a left-handed reliever there, but I don't know. Sometimes I like my starters to get a chance to work out of trouble. That was probably a mistake, but oh well. Here's Chito Martinez, 0-1 pitch, Pete Harnisch, and this ball is hit hard into kind of left center field, but it will be caught on the warning track. So Martinez is 0 for 3 today. Luis Salazar up to bat, and my widget is messed up again. Salazar 0 for 2. Here's a 1-1 pitch. And Salazar with a towering fly ball into center field, but should be caught at the warning track. So our guys are certainly hitting Harnisch deep, but they aren't getting enough. They aren't getting enough drive out into the seats. So here is Reynolds. He gets a 2-out single. I think that might be a second time in the game he's gone on base when there were 2 outs. Sorry, I'm not following very closely. I'm a little tired tonight. Trying to power through this, and might be why I got off track when I was talking about Craig Biggio, just because I'm a little bit less focused than I'd like to be. But here's Tony Aguirre, big at bat, 2 outs. Come on, man, get something going here. Let's get the lead back. Ball, darn, hit over to the shortstop, over to second, and the Cubs come up with nothing in the bottom of the 6th. Here is the top of the 7th. Ken Caminiti. We're probably going to have Burkett try to make it through this inning. Depends if they get a runner on, we're gonna have to pull him. So towering pop up on the third base side. Salazar makes the catch. Ron Karkovice, 1-0 pitch, and Karkovice with another single into left field. He's been tough for us today. I think it's the second hit. Jeff Moulin, 1-2 pitch, fictional player, goes down swinging. So Burkett probably pretty pissed off that he messed up there, and he's tied up the game, but looks like he's going to get through this inning with a little bit of that adrenaline and fire. And so the Cubs got it. Let's get some runs, right? 7th inning stretch. Let's get some runs. Harry demands it. Rick Wilkins steps in. He's had a decent game so far. He had a double, and he had another a ball hit hard. Maybe Wilkins can put the charge into one. No, he goes down swinging. Rick Wilkins. Burkett. Yeah, we gotta pull him here. So it is time. They still got Harnisch up there. Darn, and looks like we're going to have to. We do not have a Doug DeCinzo anymore. I forgot to say in the opening of this video, I swapped DeCinzo back down into the minor leagues, into AAA, and I brought utility infielder Victor Gomez back up. So probably our best pinch hitter right now, even though it's a right-hander facing a right-hander, is going to be Glenn Allen Hill, and he's probably going to strike out here, or he might be overmatched, but you never know. Here's a 1-1 pitch, and Hill hits it hard into center field, but again, this replacement player makes a diving catch. Get out of there, Mulan. Mullen. Here's a 2-0 pitch to Grace. 2 out, and another single, another 2-out single. So the Cubs certainly have done a good job keeping innings alive. And Sandberg, come on, man. We need you to be a bigger bat for us. The 1-2 pitch. Oh, he strikes out. Dang, man. He has really underperformed for us relative to what he should do. All right, so it looks like they're going to bat Harnisch. I don't see why not. He's pitching great. It's a pain to take Burkett out, but we want to try to push any chance we can to get the lead. I'm probably going to Candle, and the Bagwell, such a nasty bat. Oh man, I think we'll go with Steve Wilson. This is not ideal, but yeah, I should have left Burkett in, but oh well. Here's a 1-0 pitch from Wilson, and ball is popped up into left field. Bass should have this, and he does. All right, 1 out in the top of the 8th. Steen Finley up to bat against Wilson. Here's Wilson with the 1-0 pitch, and Finley hits the ball hard over to Sandberg, but he makes the play over to Grace, and 2 out. Please don't go to extra innings. I really hope this is not like a 20-inning marathon, and I'm sitting over here tired. And okay, come on, guys. Casey Candle, switch hitters, so Wilson will face him, even though I think Candle's a little bit better from the right-hand side. And another ground ball to Sandberg, another throw to first, and the Cubs retire them 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th. This is our chance. Come on, guys. Heart of our order. Kevin Bass, number 3 hitter, up to bat. 1-2 pitch, Kevin Bass. And he strikes out again. So Kevin Bass certainly not having a good game. Yes, he looks frustrated. Chito Martinez up to bat. He's struggled so far today. 1-0 pitch. And Martinez hits a ball deep into the gap into a left center field. And he will be on safely with a double. That is a really big hit. So we have a runner in scoring position. Chito Martinez, a very slow runner. I pinch hit with Hill, so what do I got as far as Duhan is fast and he could field. He's just not going to be I think that we're going to do that. I mean, Chito Martinez, great player, but so okay, we'll have Duhan play center. We'll have Aguiar play right, and what is oh yeah, Bass can be left. Perfect. All right, so Kevin Bass, such a disappointment. Come on, man, don't be striking out as much as you are. So we have good speed on second base. Hopefully Salazar or Reynolds can get the job done here. So Luis Salazar, very big at bat, a runner in scoring position, second base. Pete Harnisch, he has thrown 106 pitches, so he's starting to fatigue. He's pitched a great game so far. 7 1/3 inning, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Salazar at least puts the ball in play, does advance the runner, and he gets an infield hit. So that is kind of huge. And because of that, let me see here if I have anybody else. Calderon. All right, so we are going to do everything we can to avoid the double play. We will bring in Calderon to pinch run. and eventually we'll shift around our players, and we'll cover that third base that we have a hole in our lineup now. But so now, come on, Reynolds, very big at bat, left-handed batter against the right-handed pitching Pete Harnisch, who again 109 pitches. This is big. This is huge. First pitch swing. Come on, Reynolds. A ground ball to first base, does not get the run in, but the runner does advance to second. So shoot, now we got runners on second and third, 2 out. Tony Aguirre up to bat. I don't have a lot of confidence here, but maybe he'll come up big for us. Come on, man. 110 pitches. Harnisch has got to be tired. You can do it, Aguirre. You can do it. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Oh, and he hits the ball up into the air. Center field will be caught. Cubs aren't able to capitalize on a really nice opportunity there. That's tough. Could be the game, because we took out some of, a couple of our big bats to try to avoid that double play. And all right, so we're gonna have Calderon play shortstop. We will have Reynolds cover third, and I think that's good for everybody. Yes, it is. All right, and we got Jeff Bagwell up, and then Gonzalez, Caminiti. It's tough because we will go to our very good closer so far this season. I hope I don't jinx him, but Les Lancaster, he's had a fabulous season for us. He comes in to keep this game winnable, hopefully. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bagwell, I'm sorry. Single into left field, so they get their leadoff runner on Jeff Bagwell. Man, don't want to give up this game. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball over to second base. Over to oh darn! I thought it was going to be a double play. Cubs aren't able to turn it, but they do take away that lead runner. So 1 out. Gonzalez on first base. Kim Caminiti, very big at bat. Lancaster with a 1-0 pitch. Kim Caminiti grounds it to shortstop, over to second, and again they're not able to turn the double play, but again they do retire that lead runner. So Ron Karkovice now, he's had a pretty good game. 2 hits, 3 at bats. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and this ball is hit hard into the air into right field, but I think it will be caught on the track. Yes, it will. So the Cubs managed to make it out of that inning despite giving up that leadoff hit. And now bottom of the ninth, Rick Wilkins up to bat. Kurt Schilling, the closer for the Houston Astros, comes in. Here's the first pitch swing from Rick Wilkins, who has struggled a bit. At least he didn't strike out. And another double into the left field gap. So Wilkins has gone there twice today. Excellent job. He is on base, on second. That is the winning run. And again, especially because we have Manwaring, who's a good defensive catcher. Let's see what we got for speed on the base pass. Not much. That's not really an improvement to Wilkins. I mean, it's a very marginal improvement, but I'm not going to take Wilkins out for like 5 more points in speed and a little bit better stealing. But all right, so we got Schilling up to bat. Lancaster. We don't really have a suitable pinch hitter, in my opinion. And Lancaster, he's just an okay bunter. I guess we will pinch hit, but I hate to do it. So we got to play to win because we have a runner in scoring position, no outs. Hopefully Gomez can at least advance the runner, if not get a hit here. So come on, Victor Gomez. Ground ball over to third base, does not advance the runner. So 1 out. That's tough. Come on, Mark Grace. Kurt Schilling's tough pitcher, but you can do it. 2-1 pitch. Grace. Grace hits the ball into right field, but a diving catch made by Finley. And again, the runner is not able to advance. So we get a leadoff double, no out. And here we are with 2 outs. Sandberg. This is probably the big at-bat of the game. Either he drives the run in here and wins the game, or we're going to extra innings, most likely. They decide for us that they're going to give him the base. And they're going to face Kevin Bass, who struggled today, 0 for 4, at least a couple strikeouts, maybe more. Oh, 0-2 pitch, and he strikes out. Fourth time today, 4 strikeouts, boy. All right, so this is looking pretty bleak for us now. We're facing a bunch of left-handers, but these are the bottom of their lineup more. I guess I'm just going to throw in McElroy here and let him go until he can't go anymore, or until we need to pinch hit. But here's a 2-2 pitch. Chuck McElroy facing a pinch hitter, Cedeno, and a fly ball into center field. Should be caught by Duhan way out on the track. And he's got it. Fix my mic here. Sorry if it makes a loud noise. Go. All right. McElroy against left-handed batting Gabiso. Here's the swing over to shortstop, over to first. Oh, come on. 0-2 pitch, McElroy. And, oh, I thought he was going to strike him out. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. So, an 0-2 home run. That is painful. Our pitching coach, he needs to have words with McElroy. Tell him, let's look at our, where was that pitch? That was a curveball that hung out a little bit high. It's out over the plate. It let Decker extend, and he hit that just over the fence. So that might be the game there. McElroy will let him face Finley. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and he strikes him out, but not without the damage being done. That's heartbreaking. We wanted to win this game. Get off on the right foot. Like I said, this is a challenging team to face, so we have performed pretty well besides giving it up right there. And maybe I should have taken Burkett out earlier when he gave up that run. But our offense it wasn't up to the task of facing Harnisch, and Schilling is a really good pitcher as well. So Houston probably has the ball, or has the game in the bag right here. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Reynolds, the final out, and it looks like they have it. Yes, they do. So the Houston Astros go on to defeat us 2-1 in 10 innings. You can see they had 8 hits while we had 7. We had plenty of opportunities to give ourselves the lead to even win the game, but we failed to do so. If you care to look, here are the numbers. A couple standouts. Kevin Bass, I think he struck out 4 times today, and he's 0 for 5, so a really rough outing for him. Martinez did manage to get that 1 hit, but he didn't do much. Probably should have left him in. Ultimately, we were trying to get that base runner in there. Burkett, he pitched a really good game, 7 innings. He only gave up a single run. He struck out 4. He walked 1. I mean, great start. Unfortunately, no decision, but I mean, still a wonderful performance. Wilson was good. Lancaster was awesome. McElroy gave up the game. He's kind of having a rough season. Harnisch was just, we couldn't get past him, and of course then you throw Schilling in there, and he's no slouch either. So a rough loss, but we at least kept it close, and we had chances to win, so I'm satisfied with that. Let me just double check here, and before I go, I'll just give a real brief tease. We'll be back in about 20 games from now, so let me kind of show where that is on this. It looks like one of our minor leaguers is hurt, so I'll double check that after this. But let me get back to my team schedule here. And so you can see we had this unfortunate loss here, but if I'm not mistaken, I looked ahead before, and I think 20 games from this point to where we are now, it's going to be this series with the New York Mets. I'm not quite sure which one of these games it is, but at least maybe I'll just come back for the start of the series or the end of it, whichever seems to make the most sense. But yeah, we have over the next we finish up with the Astros, finish this 4-game series, then we go on to the Braves. They're a tough team, really good pitching. Then the Astros again, then the Reds, the Braves, the Reds, and then on to the Mets. So that's how our schedule looks like over the next 20 games, and I'll see you again soon, real soon, when we get to game like 103 or 104 or whatever I decide to do. By that time, Luis Salazar will be traded, and there will be some differences with our team and the infield, particularly third base and shortstop. Those positions will kind of be a little bit in flux, but nothing major, and we will suffer a little bit offensively from losing Salazar, even though he hasn't been that great, but we just don't really have much to put in his place. Yeah, so with that, thank you for checking out my video. I do apologize again that this was a little longer than I intended, especially I went too long with talking about Craig Biggio, and I'm a little tired, so I'm just kind of a little more spacier and not on topic as I should be. Let me know what you think in the comments below, just about how we did in the game, or how our team is, or any of our players, or whatever. And if you like the video, I appreciate if you throw a like on there, subscribe, ring the bell if you haven't already, of course. And just thanks again for watching. Take care, and I'll see you later.